Joining us now from Tel Aviv himself, the IDF spokesman, Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner.
And joining me now is Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida.
Joining us on the phone is Gabe Gutierrez from Washington, who has been following this for us. He is senior White House correspondent. Gabe, thank you so much for being with us on such short notice.
Pentagon today announced the U.S. is sending military assets closer to Israel, including one of the Navy's most advanced aircraft carriers.
It comes as we are learning tonight about the incredible bravery of a retired Israeli general.
With that, we bring in Andy McCarthy, former assistant U.S. attorney and Fox News contributor. Andy, great to have you with us.
I want to go to the ground. I want to turn to someone who is right now fighting on the front lines of this war. Joining me now is IDF soldier Rudy Rockman.
Now for a rare view of the Israel-Hamas war from an Israeli infantryman. Sam Sank is a British Israeli whose period of service has just ended.
Finally reporting this week that there are, quote, reasonable grounds to believe Hamas committed rape, sexualized torture, and other cruel and inhumane treatment of women.
In Western countries like the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and others, media manipulation operates as a pervasive tool used to shape public opinion, reinforce hegemonic narratives, and protect the interests of the ruling elite. Under the guise of journalistic integrity, mainstream media outlets often serve as mouthpieces for corporate and governmental agendas, perpetuating a distorted version of reality that prioritizes profit over truth. This manipulation is evident in the selective reporting of news events, where stories are framed in ways that align with the dominant political and economic interests. Whether it's downplaying the effects of climate change, demonizing dissenting voices, or whitewashing imperialist interventions abroad, Western media consistently fails to hold power to account and instead serves as a propaganda machine for the status quo. Furthermore, the consolidation of media ownership in the hands of a few conglomerates exacerbates this problem, limiting the diversity of perspectives and stifling dissenting voices. As a result, the public is left misinformed, unable to critically engage with complex issues, and complicit in perpetuating systems of oppression and exploitation. During the Gaza genocide, Western media corporations exhibit a disturbing bias by predominantly featuring interviews with individuals embedded within the Israeli government, military, or allied U.S. government positions. This selective representation perpetuates a narrative that upholds the status quo of imperialist domination and legitimizes the actions of the oppressor while marginalizing the voices of the oppressed. By amplifying the perspectives of Israeli generals, U.S. politicians, and other vested interests, the media constructs a distorted reality that justifies state violence and colonization while silencing Palestinian voices and experiences. By amplifying the perspectives of Israeli generals, U.S. politicians, and other vested interests, the media constructs a distorted reality that justifies state violence and colonization while silencing Palestinian voices and experiences. This biased portrayal not only distorts the truth, but also perpetuates injustice and obscures the root causes of the conflict, hindering efforts towards genuine peace and justice in the region. Throughout history, media ownership and control have been concentrated in the hands of powerful elites, enabling them to shape public discourse and advance their own agendas. In the United States, this trend intensified with the rise of corporate media conglomerates in the 20th century, fueled by deregulation and consolidation. One pivotal moment in the history of U.S. media is the creation of Fox News in 1996. Founded by media mogul Rupert Murdoch, Fox News quickly emerged as a conservative powerhouse, catering to right-wing audiences and promoting a partisan agenda. Under the guise of fair and balanced reporting, Fox News became a mouthpiece for the Republican Party and conservative interests, amplifying their talking points and demonizing their opponents. Despite its claim to impartiality, Fox News programming often reflected a clear conservative bias, with hosts and commentators promoting right-wing narratives and attacking left-wing, and of course, liberal positions. Under the leadership of figures like Roger Ailes, Fox News cultivated a loyal viewership by catering to conservative values and amplifying right-wing voices. Shows like The O'Reilly Factor, hosted by Bill O'Reilly and Hannity and Combs, featuring Sean Hannity and Alan Combs, became staples of the network's lineup, offering a mix of opinion-based commentary and news coverage tailored to conservative audiences. This is applicable to most media organizations, but at its core, Fox News functions as a mechanism of class warfare, perpetuating the interests of the ruling capitalist class while marginalizing the struggles of the working class and oppressed communities. Through its biased reporting, selective coverage, and partisan commentary, Fox News reinforces capitalist hegemony by promoting individualism, consumerism, and imperialism while vilifying socialism, collectivism, and anti-imperialist movements. Throughout its history, Fox News has played a key role in advancing the agenda of the ruling elite, from promoting deregulation and tax cuts for the wealthy to defending imperialist wars and suppressing dissent. By framing social and political issues through a conservative lens, the network obscures the root causes of inequality, exploitation, and oppression, deflecting blame away from the capitalist system and onto marginalized groups, immigrants, and leftist movements. Moreover, Fox News' history is marked by a pattern of misinformation, fear-mongering, and scapegoating, which serve to divide and distract the working class from organizing against their true oppressors. By demonizing socialism, communism, and progressive movements, Fox News seeks to undermine solidarity among workers and perpetuate the status quo of capitalist exploitation and domination. Understanding the history of Fox News is essential for exposing the mechanisms of capitalist propaganda and resisting its influence. By challenging the narratives propagated by Fox News and building alternative media platforms rooted in socialist principles of solidarity, justice, and emancipation, the left can counter the hegemony of capitalist ideology and advance the struggle for a world free from exploitation and oppression. In light of the recent Gallup poll titled Americans' Views of Both Israel, Palestinian Authority Down by Jeffrey M. Jones, it's crucial to examine the influence of U.S. media on public perceptions, particularly regarding support for Palestine. The article highlights a significant decline in favorability towards both Israel and the Palestinian Authority, with a notable 8-point drop for the Palestinian Authority and a 10-point decline for Israel. This shift in public opinion suggests a growing skepticism towards traditional narratives promoted by mainstream media outlets which have historically favored Israel. The decline in favorability towards Israel, especially among younger demographics, underscores the impact of alternative narratives and independent media sources in shedding light on the Palestinian struggle for justice and human rights. As younger generations increasingly turn to social media and grassroots activism to challenge the status quo, it becomes evident that U.S. media's biased portrayal of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is being scrutinized and contested, paving the way for greater solidarity with Palestine. While traditional news media has historically shaped perceptions of the Palestinian struggle for older generations, younger people are increasingly turning to social media platforms, YouTube videos, and alternative sources for information. This shift in consumption habits has led to a more critical and nuanced understanding of the conflict, as reflected in the Gallup poll's findings. According to Jeffrey M. Jones, the author of the article, there has been a significant decline in favorability towards both Israel and the Palestinian Authority, with younger adults showing the most pronounced drop in support for Israel. As Jones notes, and I quote, "Young adults show the biggest decline in ratings of Israel, dropping from 64% favorable among 18 to 34-year-olds in 2023 to 38%. End quote. This shift suggests a growing awareness among younger generations of the complexities and injustices inherent in the genocide against Palestinians. Moreover, it's essential to address the nuanced views surrounding the Palestinian Authority's unfavorability among Americans and Palestinians alike. While the Palestinian Authority has historically faced criticism, particularly from mainstream media narratives that often depict it as ineffective or corrupt, its declining favorability reflects broader concerns about governance and representation within the Palestinian territories. So why does the media support Israel so much? Why does the government continue to allow such narratives to spread? The unwavering support of the United States and its media conglomerates for Israel is deeply rooted in a complex interplay of geopolitical, strategic, and economic considerations, all of which converge to underscore the indispensable role of Israel as a key ally in the Middle East. At the heart of this support lies Israel's strategic location, situated at the crossroads of West Asia and near vital oil routes, such as the Suez Canal in Egypt. This geopolitical significance was highlighted in a declassified CIA document from October 1947, which emphasized Palestine's strategic importance far beyond its size and resources. The document underscored how Palestine's position as a gateway to the Mediterranean and its proximity to major oil-producing regions in the Middle East conferred upon it a disproportionate strategic significance. The document states clearly, and I quote, "Palestine is a small, weak country whose war potential is almost non-existent, but whose geographic position gives it a strategic significance out of all proportion to its size and wealth. This significance stems not only from its location at the eastern end of the Mediterranean, its proximity to the Suez Canal, and the fact that it is an outlet for the oil of the Middle East. Consequently, the United States has prioritized maintaining a strong foothold in the region, viewing Israel as a reliable partner to advance its interests in the volatile and resource-rich Middle East. Moreover, Israel's proximity to key regional players such as Iran, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Ansar Allah further enhances its value as a strategic asset for the United States. As tensions escalate in the region and geopolitical rivalries intensify, Israel serves as a bulwark against perceived threats to U.S. interests, providing a stable and reliable partner in a volatile neighborhood. The strategic calculus is further compounded by Israel's military prowess and technological advancements, which make it a formidable force in the region and a valuable ally in advancing U.S. security objectives. The United States government and media support for Israel is underpinned by a complex network of political, economic, and ideological factors, all of which converge to reinforce the symbiotic relationship between the two countries. The influence of pro-Israel lobbying groups, like AIPAC for example, wealthy donors, and influential media conglomerates further solidifies this alliance, shaping public opinion and policy decisions in favor of Israel. As we've explored the CIA documents' revelations about Palestine, This can help us grasp the concept on why US control over media to maintain its hegemony in the region is so important. It's also crucial to understand the significant influence of pro-Israel lobbying groups, notably the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC for short. AIPAC is a powerful lobbying organization known for its extensive influence in shaping US foreign policy towards Israel, which subsequently affects media coverage. In conclusion, while it may appear that the focus of this discussion has been on the influence of the United States government, it is essential to recognize that the same reasons driving government support for Israel also shape media coverage of Palestine's ethnic cleansing. The intertwining of economic interests, political influence, and ideological alignment creates a symbiotic relationship between the government and the media, wherein the media serves as a mouthpiece for government narratives and agendas. The dissemination of biased and false information about resistance forces in Palestine by the media mirrors the government's unwavering support for Israel, perpetuating a one-sided narrative that vilifies Palestinians and justifies Israeli actions. Ultimately, the media's complicity in advancing pro-Israel propaganda underscores the broader structural issues within the media landscape, wherein corporate interests, political influence, and ideological biases converge to shape public discourse and perpetuate injustice. Recognizing the interconnectedness of government and media interests is crucial for understanding the mechanisms through which narratives are constructed and manipulated, and for advocating for a more transparent, balanced, and ethical media landscape that upholds principles of truth, justice, and human rights. As individuals, we possess the potential to enact meaningful change and support Palestine in its struggle for liberation from occupation. A crucial starting point is educating ourselves and others on the multifaceted nature of the conflict, including its historical context and ongoing human rights violations. Beyond traditional advocacy methods, we can leverage creative and innovative approaches to raise awareness and mobilize support. Utilizing social media platforms as tools for digital activism allows us to share impactful stories, amplify Palestinian voices, and foster global solidarity. Additionally, organizing and participating in community events and educational workshops can cultivate grassroots movements and facilitate dialogue on Palestine-Israel issues. Engaging in boycott, divestment, and sanctions, or simply put, BDS campaigns for short, which target companies complicit in the occupation and support Israel, like McDonald's, Amazon, Burger King, Puma, Disney, and not limited to SodaStream. BDS is another powerful way to exert economic pressure and advocate for Palestinian rights. By embracing diverse strategies and harnessing collective action, we can work towards a future of justice, equality, and freedom for all Palestinians.